Non-fun? What? Fungible? What the hell is fungible? Non-fungible token. Chances are you heard about this recently. Fungible? Fungible? Who the hell comes up with this stuff? Why should you care about this as a photographer? Quick explanation. A non-fungible token, or NFT, is a token on the blockchain that's unique. What's a token? A token is a digital asset. It could be anything digital, but for this discussion we're just gonna say that it applies to a digital work of art. So Bitcoin, for example, is fungible. By the way, Bitcoin is not a token, it's a coin. It's called a coin because it exists on its own dedicated blockchain, as opposed to a token, which is built upon another blockchain. So the reason that Bitcoin is fungible is this: I have a Bitcoin, you have a Bitcoin. We can swap them, and it doesn't really matter. They're identical and they both have the same value. An NFT, on the other hand, is unique. When talking about artworks as NFTs, you can have several copies, just like you can have several physical prints of a photograph. But just like the physical prints, they're all unique because of their individual provenance. You can look at the blockchain and see every owner of the NFT, tracing its history all the way back to the original creator. And in a marketplace, it is this provenance that makes them valuable. And of course the scarcity, because they're part of a limited run. So let's say you have an original photographic print. It's one of 20 original copies. You paid a lot of money for it. I see it at your house. I love it. I think it would look great on my wall. It's by a famous photographer. And I could easily find the image online, print it myself, or I could possibly buy a poster for a fraction of the cost that you paid. But it's not the same thing as being the owner of an original. If for no other reason, only an original would hold any resale value. A major reason for buying original art. People buy it not because they like it, well hopefully they like it, but because they see it as an investment that will either hold its value or appreciate over time. Interesting fact, in the early days of fine art printing, if an artist was releasing a limited number of prints, after creating them to prove the scarcity and show he was being super duper serial about this truly being a limited run, he would destroy the plate used to create the prints. Later on, during the years of film photography, photographers would destroy the original negative after making their limited number of prints. So NFTs would actually offer the equivalent for digital photographers. Create your limited run of NFTs, then delete your original RAW file. No one will ever be able to recover your original file and make changes to edit and so on. But anyway, above all, this technology is great news for digital artists, because in the past, they had no way of selling their art. A photographer with a small following and a few exhibitions might be able to charge a few $100s for a print. A digital artist of similar or greater stature could not do this, because they had no way of creating this aforementioned provenance and scarcity that cements the value of the work and its authenticity. Like anyone could just go to the artist's website or wherever they may be showing their work, right-click and select Save to Desktop. People can still do that, of course, but it's like taking a photocopy of a print. The value is not there. The value is not in the tangible. It's in the provenance and the scarcity. So well done, digital artists. Good for you. It's been a long time coming. But what about artists in traditional arts, photography in particular? How can you exhibit and profit from your photography with NFTs? Well, you probably can't. Not unless you're already an established artist with a sizable following. So I spent the best part of a day browsing through the major sites dealing with NFTs, and I could hardly find any photography. Some of these sites are Super Rare, Rarible, OpenSea, and Nifty Gateway, amongst others. Most of these sites are curated, so you need to apply to sell your art, backing up your application with a solid portfolio and proof of a following, prior exhibitions and so on. Or I imagine that the curators will approach and invite artists that they like. Rarible and OpenSea are different, however. Anyone can upload any old crap on here. So that's what I'm gonna do. Like I said, you don't see a lot of photography on these sites. I see a few reasons for this. Because it's a heavily curated environment, presumably run by crypto geeks. The focus is mainly on digital art. They haven't approached any big photographers yet with the proposition of them releasing a limited run of digital-only editions. No established photographers have thought to do this themselves. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Do you know of any big photographers who only work in photography, who have been releasing their work digitally like this? I don't know of any. Photographers with a small following aren't doing it because why would they? Unlike me, they're too smart to waste their time and money on this. Because selling digital only art is no different from selling physical art. If nobody knows who the heck you are, they're not going to buy your stuff. Plus, just like creating prints or photo books, there's a cost involved. For every token you create on the blockchain, you pay a gas fee, which is a fee to the miners maintaining the blockchain network. On Rarible, for example, it works out at roughly $10. So a limited run of 10 prints, or whatever you want to call it, nifty is another term, could cost you $100 to produce. Also, perhaps photography just isn't suited for this marketplace. Maybe it's too old-fashioned, too analog. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create a photo I want to tokenize through OpenSea, but I'm gonna try and spice it up a little bit by turning it into a cinemagraph. Be right back. Okay, so I created a cinemagraph from a photograph that I took. This is it, and I'm gonna stick it on OpenSea. OpenSea! I might upload a separate video on how I make cinemagraphs if you're interested in that. But anyway, to get your stuff on OpenSea, you need to have a wallet with some Ether, and from there it's pretty straightforward. You connect your wallet, upload your art, add some info, and you're done. So, let's see what happens next. I don't have a huge devoted fan base. Yeah, I know, strange, isn't it? So I don't expect to make any sales. I do think this is the right time for a photographer to get involved in this though. Like years from now, 2020 and 21 are going to be remembered. Yeah, because of that other thing as well. But 2020 and 2021 will be remembered as the years when digital art, tokenized art on the blockchain became mainstream. And any work minted now would be among some of the first pieces ever, and regardless of who created them, that's pretty special. So there you have it. I've just released my first piece of crypto art. I may release some more in the near future. Right now, all that's left for me to do is ask you to share this video and follow me on Instagram, and maybe that will garner enough attention for me to actually sell one of these nifties. Hey,